Hello and welcome to the second season of Inside Edition, where we shed light on national, regional and international issues in depth. Social media has quickly become one of the most powerful platforms on the planet for networking and vast social connection. With billions of users and several social media websites, it is hard to reduce the extreme impact that these internet networks have had on the world. We will be discussing this matter with Ali Sabkar, who is the founder and president of Social Media Club Bahrain. But first, this report.
One of the defining phenomena of the present times reshaping the world as we know it is the worldwide accessibility to the internet. The love child of the World Wide Web is social media, which comes in many forms, including blogs, forums, business networks, photo-sharing platforms, social gaming, microblogs, chat apps, and last but not least, social networks. The power of social networking is such that the number of worldwide users is expected to reach some 3 billion by 2020, around a third of Earth's entire population. Just as television turned a nation of people who listened to media content into watchers of media in the 1950s to the 1980s, the emergence of social media has created a nation of media content creators, and many took advantage of that. Social media has transformed politics in sheer speed at which news, poor results, and rumors are shared. Whereas in the pre-internet days, people had to wait for the next newspaper or news show to get the latest information, online news is a 24/7 phenomenon. Social media has taken this a step further. While you can access news in many websites at any hour, most people spend more time on sites such as Facebook and Twitter than they do on serious news or political websites. Criticisms of social media range from criticisms of the ease of use of specific platforms and their capabilities, disparity of information available, issues with trustworthiness and reliability of information presented, the impact of social media use on individuals' concentration, ownership of media content, and the meaning of interactions created by social media. Because social media is relatively new, we're just starting to see its impact on society. There are sure to be many political changes that come about due to social media. There are now proposals for internet voting, which could lead to more people participating in elections, and this could make social media even more influential.
Welcome back. With us here in the studio is Mr. Ali Sabkar. Thank you very much for joining us and taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you.
Mr. Ali, we can say that everyone understands the importance of social media. And it has reached the world and has affected a lot of the decisions made around the world, and even to the way people form their opinions, so public opinions influenced by social media. How does social media affect political developments in that way?
So today, social media is open for everyone, for people like, let's say, youth, for the parents, for organizations to access it. It's very easy, it's available, it's mobile. So today you can access the social media and you can follow any account and you can start, reading and watching any information you want. The thing is, it's very easy to, to search for any information. Through all the social media channels. So today people can read, people can, let's say, search for the right information in terms of the political views. Today people, they don't need to wait for traditional media like newspaper in the second day or the news at in the evening. They can just immediately go and search, and they can also compare between the different views. Yes. With or against.
Yes, I guess that's the smart way of doing it, because as you said, it's very easy to get on these platforms and to search these famous names, whoever they are in the political arena or even celebrities, but it's difficult to know what information is true.
Exactly.
So when it comes to that, you showed one, or you just mentioned one way by comparing, but what else? How can people actually verify the sources they are looking at or watching?
At the Social Media Club, we always tell people that they have always to follow the authorized and verified accounts, especially the official accounts. So today, if you want the source, you have to search for the source of that information. Yes, you can always compare between information, you can always compare between stories to know just the complete picture, what people are thinking about any case. But when you have to search for example, the ministry's accounts, the minister accounts, the official government accounts, maybe some political societies accounts, to see the exact information, the exact news, the story itself. And then you can search for conversations. This is the beauty of Twitter and others, that you can read conversations. So yes, you can read the official statement, and then you see all the sentiments and all the conversations about that story.
Yes.
So the only way here that we can recommend is to follow the official accounts and to compare then between the conversations, what people are saying about it.
Well, one thing that your club has accomplished is they are somewhat, or your club is somewhat the go-to place when you want to know which websites or which accounts are official. So if people aren't sure who is the official representative of, let's say, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who's taking care of that account, because there are several ones, they would be able to get the information about which one is actually the correct one from your club. How are people, how do they have access to the information that your club provides?
Yeah, so the Global Social Media Club offers membership for whoever is a media maker. Media maker is anyone who could tweet or could post information. They are media makers. So our club is open for media makers around the world to be members and start attending the activities that we organize. Activities are such as training programs, educational awareness sessions, and during these sessions we educate the members how to search for the information, how to tweet, when to tweet, how to have a conversations. This is very important, the etiquette of using social media, because for us social media is exactly like al-majlis, like a diwaniyah.
Exactly.
So when you are between 40-50 people, the way that you have to wait until your time and then start talking, and you have to be polite, you have to dress nicely. So social media for me is like a majlis, but with 2 billion people. 2 billion people around the world, they are all together in one big majlis, and they are talking to each other. So you have to represent yourself in the right way. So this is the etiquettes of using social media.
And does it come into effect, like the profile pictures and even the names next to the profile pictures? Like
that's exactly what this is the first one-on-one sessions that we do. We call it presence, the presence session. So the first step you do in social media is to have the right presence. The presence that have your official picture, your official name, and the brief about who are you, what do you do. So because today, if I search for you yesterday, for example, before this session, and I want to know more about who is hosting me, so the brief is there, the bio is there, some content is there to understand how to engage with you and what level. So today people are, when you want to follow anyone and you want people to follow you, they have to understand who you are. This is exactly, again, we go back to the Majlis example. If you don't know the person, you don't know how to react with it. You don't know even how to say salam alaikum to him, your excellencies or Mr. or you don't know. So you have to have the right presence on social media. And this is also very important for officials. Unfortunately, some officials, they don't have the right presence. You don't know he's official of what. He represents who and what is his views. Is he with or without or against? So this is very important. The presence stage at social media is #1 for everyone, for individuals, for corporate, for officials, for
Especially when these are the people that basically the public turn to in order to know more information or even find out about certain corporations and so on. Politics, let's go back to politics. Politics were often dominated by men and women much older than the primary users of social media now. So we see there's a decline in the age where people are going on social media and talking about politics. But the new generation is adopting the participatory politics, which is a new politic movement that encourages individuals' engagement and participation in ongoing debates. Also discussions with politicians in the social realm. We see that especially when we go to the United States, even to the UK, there are actual discussions between the Prime Minister Theresa May and some of the individuals, and some of them you would see are basically first, second year of college, or some are even in high school. How do you evaluate an approach like that?
So today we have to understand the users of social media, especially, let's say, in our region, in Bahrain and the Gulf. We have above 60% are youth. And youth, their interest is totally different than adults, or let's say matures. Youth, they are after sports, music, entertainment, entrepreneurship, looking for jobs, looking for education. searching for funny stuff, you know, comedians.
Yeah.
Their interest is totally different. This is the way of them to search. Social media is the new Google for youth.
Yeah.
They don't need to go to YouTube or Google anymore. They search for what is trending on Twitter, what's trending on Instagram and others.
Even Reddit is now part of it.
Exactly. So adults, now we can see that on Facebook and Twitter. We have more adults than youth.
Yes.
Because there is a space, you know, to post videos, to write, you know, what's in your mind, to engage with your friends. It automatically search for all your friends in your school or in your university, especially for adults, because they want to know their classmates and their, you know, work colleagues.
Yes.
So going back to what is the interest for adults and youth, it's different a bit.
Yes.
Today we can see, for example, Snapchat is more for youth, more for comedians, more for entertainment. It's an acting platform.
Yes,
People,
yes.
they act more on Snapchat. But when you go to Twitter and Facebook, you will see it is more more officials, more corporate, more, you know, settled.
Yes.
Instagram is mixed between everything. You know, people, they just publish what they see.
Yes.
Now, in terms of political, Twitter is #1 in terms of political content, because people can tweet shortly. They don't want to talk too much,
Yes.
you know, because when you talk too much in politicals, maybe you miss something or you do more wrongs.
Yes.
So you have very official statements, short statements, maybe a link to the official website.
True.
So people today, when they search for any political stuff, they immediately go to Twitter. It is fast. It is to the point. You can search easily for the accounts and for conversations. So you see the adults now. Yes, some of the youth, especially in Egypt,
Yeah.
where they had this spring,
Yes, yes.
and maybe in Iraq. So you see them, they are talking differently in terms of the interest that they have because
Yes.
of the wars and battles that they had. They had to, you know, to go with the wave. In Gulf, it's more settled. You know, we are more into economic development. We are more into entrepreneurships. Even today in universities, they are pushing, you know, more entrepreneurship, youth entrepreneurship, startups. The whole country, for example, the 2030 strategy in Saudi and in Bahrain, both are pushing more into economic and development and startups and pushing more technology aspects. So even us in the club, we are pushing every member to, let's say, focus on the interest that he has and the job that he admit to it. So if he is into engineering, talk more in engineering, you know, because you need to attract. See, in social media, it depends all in the content. When you publish any content, you will attract the segment that looking for that content. So if you are more into sports, then you will have sports fans.
Yeah.
When you talk about entrepreneurship, you will have look-alike people who search for this one. Now, when you talk, yes, we have some groups now in the Gulf talking about politics and news, but you see their fans and followers are a bit different.
Yes.
They are the fans and followers of those groups and those accounts are more into the political societies, governments, outside, you know, political accounts that they want to see what's happening in the Gulf.
Yes, yes. On this point, I want to mention a couple of things. I want to ask you a couple of things. Now, politics, as we know, is the science of policies. So it studies the policies of countries, of companies, of institutions, everything which has a policy, politics engages in. And the thing that I have personally seen, and probably you have over the growth of social media, especially in Snapchat, or even just recording videos and sending them by WhatsApp, is that corruption has gone down because people actually take videos of things happening and they send it out, and then everybody knows about it, and then corruption in some kind of way has been limited. And we have also seen in Saudi Arabia and in Bahrain, the anti-corruption police or organizations have thrived and they have grown bigger in order to stop corruption. How does that help in the politics of the country?
Today, social media is a monitoring way as well for those accounts. We've seen that lately there was accounts called consumer rights, other accounts that they are waiting for views from the users, okay? because today users is what they call it, they are the new journalists.
Yes.
You know, they are everywhere, and they can take pictures and they can write reviews of anything. So today, even I think it's better also for the, let's say, commercially. Even officials today, like for example in UAE, it's very clear. If any official did a mistake, or any official department, they didn't help or support any citizen, they immediately, people are tweeting about it in same day, it's fixed.
Yes.
The same guy is out, from his chair.
Correct.
So today, social media is a way of monitoring on all aspects, on officials, on the accounts, on commercially, even on the clubs. So if a company, or let's say a cold store or a hypermarket or a fashion merchant, they did some mistakes and they have played with pricing.
Yes.
Even in Saudi, they had a lot of car companies, car agencies. They had issues with that because of different in pricing.
Yes.
So today, social media helped actually government, helped a lot of people, even helped the citizens to reach out their voice. Today, you have no, even if you take your car to the agency and something wrong happened, if the car agency didn't do it, I remember a long time back we said you have to go and claim a case. You have to go to Ministry of Commerce, then you have to go to court. Today the court is social media.
Yes.
Immediately you tweet the account, you tweet the car agency, the dealer, and the dealer themselves, if they have the monitoring system, they can solve it, and they say sorry, that was a human mistake.
True.
And we can help you with doing that. So social media help today a lot of organizations.
Yes.
Today there are many tools to help you to find out what people are talking about your brand. That's why for us in one of the sessions we talk about how to have a positive brand on social media, how to monitor your brand, what people are saying about it. Unfortunately, some accounts or some companies still don't have a presence.
Yes.
So they are missing what people are talking about them. Instead of you engage what people are talking about you are not there. And this is also, I had an article about officials not being on social media. Unfortunately, even in Bahrain, we have only 3-4 ministers that they are on social media actively tweeting and actively posting.
Yes.
Others are not there. Now, they are saying because we don't have guidelines, we don't have strategies, and I think that,
these need to be developed.
It has to be developed.
Yes.
So the accounts or government or officials, they need to have guidelines and social media strategies, how to engage an official with community.
Yes.
I've seen some accounts in some ministries in Bahrain and even Saudi very actively there. We have ministries, we have some thought leaders, we have leaders like Mohammed bin Rashid.
Yes.
Mohammed bin Rashid in UAE, his account tweeting before the official account tweet. When he finished from any meeting, the government, either the cabinet meeting, he's tweeting and informing the citizens that we are discussed this and there's something good is coming for you. Citizens are, they are in love with the leader.
Yes.
Because he is talking their language.
Exactly.
So we need also to grab this this bridge, to grab this bridge.
Yes.
We want the citizens to feel that officials are close to them.
Yeah.
We have an example, Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmed, His Excellency, the Minister of the Foreign Affairs. He's very close to people, especially when there is something happened for Bahraini citizens outside Bahrain. He is the first who's talking about it, and he's helping people, please go to the embassy, please do this, our embassy will help you. Yes. If something disaster happened in any country, also they are tweeting, talking about our hotlines, our the terms and conditions, what you can do, the instructions. So we want more officials like this, to help to. At the end, we are a small country, and we are our citizens also, not that huge. This is also good for us as an image for Bahrain, So I remember in the club, we brought more than 100 speakers from outside Bahrain, especially from states. This first thing they do, they go to social media and search for Bahrain.
Okay.
We need to publish more. We need to have more positive content. So ministries have to have their roles as well. We need to publish more about economic, about education, about tourism, and I think some entities, they started doing that.
Yes.
Okay, this will help to brand Bahrain as the destinations.
Yes.
This is where other countries they do. In fact, other countries, they don't only publish content, they advertise as well. Yeah. They have sponsored ads, they have sponsored stories, and they have bloggers talking about it, they have influencers flying to their countries. Oman, for example, when they had their tourism, they brought, influencers from all around the world to talk about tourism in Muscat and tourism in Salalah. So today, there is a chance to utilize the power of social media for the good for the country, for the officials, for the citizens. So we can reach that.
Well, one of the things or the downsides of social media is also the rumors that spread, and especially in politics. And we're in a very sensitive time where the region is being challenged, and in the international region, but especially our region here. And the rumors that come out, it is always good to have officials like our Minister of Foreign Affairs and others that basically cut the tape where the red point starts. So, no, this is a lie, it's not true, don't go further. So this gives information, but what about these rumors? How do they start and how to stop them?
Stopping them, we will not be able to stop them, but we will be able to reduce the effect of them, okay, by not following them, by not spreading the same tweets. Unfortunately, there are a lot of social media users, they retweet the information, the wrong information, just to say that this information is wrong. But guess what? You are helping in spreading it. Because some people, they don't read the complete tweet. They read only the hot news in the tweet. So my recommendation is not to retweet, not to republish. Don't amplify the reach of that negative or that rumor. That's one. Second thing is, we need to be up to speed. Officials, they need to be up to speed. As the example you said, if something wrong happened or rumor has happened, the concerned official, the minister or the department has immediately to announce the right statement and then amplify that statement, boosted by advertising, boosted by the influencers, boosted by the content distributors. So it's our issue here is distribution, content distribution. Okay, we don't know how to distribute our content. When there is a rumor, they know how to use distribution. They know how to spread it out to all the groups, using WhatsApp, using Instagram accounts. We need also to understand how to minimize that distribution and amplify our distribution of content. So the game is in distribution.
Yes, but at the same time, sometimes a little bit too much distribution is bad in politics. I mean, I pull into example President Donald Trump's latest tweets, and he's known to be a big advocate for Twitter. And sometimes people that are actually following President Trump, they read something, a couple of hours later it's removed or edited or something like that. How about that? I mean, is that something that's a no-no in social media? You're going to have to fix a mistake that you said, or for instance, you just delete it totally, or how do you fix that issue?
Yes, in social media, you have to be, again, human. So when you do the mistake, you have to apologize. And there are many examples of how people, they apologize because of a wrong tweet or wrong post. So yes, you can go back to your tweet, you can delete it, you cannot edit it, but on Facebook and Instagram, you can always edit. But on Twitter, you can have a new tweet, apologizing. And there is no wrong of apologizing. In fact, you will have more people falling in love with you because you are, you know the mistake that happened. And you just, write the right message or the right statement that information was wrong. And my team, they told me that this is the right information. And I'd like to apologize for the misunderstanding, the miscommunication that happened. So simply just apologize. And in the club, we teach also organizations, corporate companies to apologize. There is nothing wrong with saying, I'm sorry, my team did a mistake, because at the end we are all human. We are not robots. So you read something, you understand something totally different. At the end, see, the way that we are talking now, you can see my body language, you can see my eyes, you can see how I'm talking. In social media, you can't see all that.
It's the tone of what you write.
It's exactly the words. And sometimes you use capital letter, you use emojis. So that also will help to reduce the tension.
Well, one of the head tweeters on Twitter is U.S. President Donald Trump, and he has tweeted a mock video that shows him pummeling a man in a business suit, his face obscured by the CNN logo outside a wrestling ring. Trump's been stepping up verbal attacks on the media and cable networks particularly. White House Homeland Security Advisor Tom Bossert also told ABC that he thinks Trump's beaten up in a way on cable platforms that he has a right to respond to. Welcome back to the studio. Mr. Ali, what's your response to such a use of social media in politics?
So Trump, as a leader, he wants to have, he wants to break the ice with the community. He wants to be a humanist, and there are people who hate CNN, so he's, you know, they are with him,
Yes.
and he wants to see also the reaction of other, you know, the FNN.
Yeah.
So I think when we saw his tweets in the beginning of his campaign, he was always against, you know, the false fraud news. So he's continuing in the campaign itself. Now again, he has a strategy going forward because he's with the other news channels. So he's also, see, at the end, this is all acting. You know, politics also is acting.
Yeah.
All right. So you need to understand how to act, and he uses something that people knows that is acting. So WWE is the whole acting, you know, sports.
Exactly.
So he used this with that and brought this type of content to show that I can beat the fraud news.
Yeah.
You know, so he's just showing his muscles. It's a way, it's a campaign. I can't say it's wrong or right because I'm not there, but this is a way and a strategy for him to say that I can beat fraud news, and there is a red line with me, so don't come more and don't talk about it.
Yes.
I think what he did is a humorist, and he has some people who loves him and people who hate the other media channel.
Yes.
This stuff, I don't think this stuff can be done in our region.
Yes.
We are more matured, okay? We respect everyone, and we have laws that, you know, people cannot say fraud news.
Yes.
We have a very restricted laws. People can report it. Government has a process, and we know that this happened also with some local media in the region that was closed because of the fraud news.
Yes.
So it is clear that we have the process. Maybe they have to learn from our region what are the processes to, you know, to stop the fraud news.
Yes. Well, on that point particularly, how do you value the rules and regulations of the usage of social media that you yourself said you teach in your club?
Yes. At the moment, there is one law which is very clear with electronic crime and Ministry of Interior that people cannot attack any brand, cannot attack officials, cannot attack people with bad words, with, you know, just like and people can go to the, you know, they can take them to the electronic crime and, you know, have a case against them.
So defamation is basically a no-no when it comes to cybercrime.
Yes, exactly. So the law is very clear in terms of how you can talk in social media, how you can, you know.
Yes.
But in social media, what we teach is the fundamentals. We teach the etiquette, how to use social media, because at the end, as a human, this is like a mirror for you, for your personality.
Yes.
Today, even for students, when we have camps for students, we tell them tomorrow when you want to search for a job and you apply for, you know, jobs, the first thing they do, they search social media for your name.
Exactly.
They will see what is your interest, what is your attitude. Because when you, the HR policies and HR arrangements is different today. They claim that every employee is an ambassador of the company. So they want the right ambassador before the right talent.
Exactly.
Okay? Because what if you have the right talent without having the right attitude, without the right, you know, how to deal with others, it is a negative for the brand itself.
Yes. Okay.
So today we teach the etiquettes of how to use social media for yourself, for your family, and it's very important to know that when you tweet, when you publish any content, you have to think of three things.
Yes.
If that content will help your personality, it will help your country, it will help your followers to understand the content, to give them valuable information and to not give you bad image. A lot of people, without thinking, they publish content. They later, at the same day, they understand, oh, that information I tweet or I post, you know, it will damage another brand. It will damage my family brand, it will damage my business brand or something.
Yeah.
So today, just rethink. It's like, you know, the traffic campaign, rethink.
Yes.
So we have to have also a rethink in social media.
Yes. When it comes to the rules and regulations of political usage of social media, it has not come between one day and one night. This has been, the leadership has put rules for a while now. They've been building on old rules. Every time a problem happens, a new rule comes out, new democracies, new ways of thinking as well. Can you tell us about particularly the regulations of political social media?
See, social media for us is something that every day is improving. And because it is related to human, so you cannot just have ready-made laws. You have to go with what's happening, you know. So if something happened between a country and the country, then, you know, you have to have a new law that, you know, you don't talk about that. The law is very clear, and you have to always to follow. That's why we say follow the official accounts. So you can always be up to date with what's happening, with what's the new laws is talking about. We know that always when there is a country who called a friend to other country, you cannot talk about that country, okay? At the end, they are helping your country for development, and, you know, they're helping you because that's political things. The other thing is we go back to the crime law that we have, the electronic crime. It's very clear, and that applies on all the subjects. It applies to non-political and political as well. So we have one law that applies to everyone because at the end it's content. It's what matters. What type of content you are publishing and how that content will affect any incidents that's happening. Incidents in terms of battles, incidents of between country to country. So at the end you have to be aware of not engaging with something that you don't have a decision in. So today, for example, what's happening with the neighbors, you have no rights to talk about it because you are not there with them on the tables. You don't know what's happening. So leave, you know, things for the right people. They are the leaders and they know the best for the country.
At the same time, social media has also been a very big part about our daily news. And we see that especially when it comes to Syria, and especially in Syria, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights mainly use video footage that locals on the ground there, whoever they are, took. They verify them by satellite photos and so on. And then we actually use them, for me as a political anchor and a news reader, we use them in the news because that's the only way for us to get the news from inside Syria. That's how we know how bad it's going on in Syria. So how about putting putting an official body that is officially in charge of verifying information that is sent by social media? Is there something like that here in Bahrain or in the region?
I think last month there was a monitoring center in Saudi Arabia where Donald Trump visited Saudi Arabia and we had the Islamic Summit. So there was a kick-off of Etiquette Center. Etiquette Center is, they have all the monitoring system to read all type of conversations and footage and content. But I don't think there is a way to verify if that content really came from Syria or Gaza or Iraq or maybe Vietnam. I think this is, again, this is more into, it's not, I will not call it political, it's more into security itself. So I think maybe something like Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Interior, they can look at that type of content because they have the communication with other entities look-alike. So Ministry of Defense and Interior, they have also friends, I mean protocols, you know, communication with other Ministry of Defense and Interior to verify that type of content. I don't think that there should be another organization to verify this type of content, and they are not into this communication protocol. So again, this is why we're telling our users and our members, do not engage with type of content because you are not there to verify this type of content. If that content came out from Bana or went out from WAS, which is the official news agencies, then they verify it and if something tomorrow happen, they will be claimed.
Yes.
So why you put in a position where you get the blame,
Yes.
the claim?
Yes.
So let them, the blame goes on
Whoever
the
took
news
it.
agencies.
Yes.
So verifying content, whatever is that content, is not in our hand. It has to be in the hand of who has that communication protocol.
Yes.
A lot of people talked about Imran the kids. A lot of people talked about, the Syrian Imrans, and lots of people talk about there's some TVCs that happened and talked about, what happened in the region.
Yes.
Again, we cannot verify those information. We have to follow the news agencies, official news agencies, not also the local media, to see if that content was verified by the government or not.
Yes.
I think I'tidal is one of the centers that can help. I see them, they are actively now working on social media, and they're being actively verifying content.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Sabkar, before I go into my second rounds of questions, I want to ask you, do you think it is a must, or do you see it happening in the near future, that like an organization, a prestigious organization as yourself, your club, actually integrates some kind of a subject for students in high schools to teach them about the proper uses of social media?
Yeah. So in terms of educational or academic activities, we have an agreement with the National Institute for Social Media in the States. They are the official organization where verifying and certifying social media strategists and social media marketers, how to use social media for the best of the brand, whatever is that brand. And today, with the support of Tamkeen in Bahrain, we have this program is verified and is supported and powered by Tamkeen in Bahrain. Any Bahraini can be part of that program. They can go to Tamkeen and apply for it. We have already 20 students where they are officials. It's a high level. Now, in terms of schools, unfortunately, we don't have, or schools don't have a program for social media. Universities also don't have a program for social media.
Do you see it as important?
It is very important. We have talked to some academic entities. There is a need of that type of content. That's why what we do is we do camps, we do visits to schools, we do lectures every month in different universities, but there is no curriculum today. Our curriculum is more into professionals.
Yes.
So we have certification programs into this. Yes. Maybe I can see it within 2 years. More academic programs will be into social media itself. At the moment, I think University of Bahrain, they have something called new media subject. Yes. There is a course called new media, but new media is a wider subject. Yes. It's social media with blogs, with websites, applications, CDs, and anything which is e version. Yes. Social media is there. Social media is huge. We can see that Facebook itself, they reached 2 billion people. Yes. Users last week. We have 2.7 billion people around the world using social media. The top 5 companies in the world, they are social media companies. They are making huge of income. Yeah. Basically, today is a way of reaching your segments by advertising through social media. So they are making money, and they are improving. We see that a lot of companies are buying social media. Lately, we found that a telecom company in States bought Yahoo, Verizon. Yes. So telecom companies started also buying, websites and blogs and social media. Why? Because they have users. Yes. They're looking for users. True. The other telecom, AT&T, they bought Warner Bros. So it's a movie maker because they have data and they have content. Exactly. Okay, and this content will go online and they go on the internet and social media. Yes. So today we see that the game is changing. The game is into data, into content. And social media is the best way to find that content. Especially
that content, because the second it hits the internet, it means anybody can use it, basically.
Exactly.
All right. Means of social media became fundamental tools, especially in the United States and other countries when it came to elections. Yes. Can you tell us more about that?
Yep. We hosted 6 years back an American author called I forget his name now. Okay, so he had a book called Barack 2.0.
Okay.
And he wrote a book about how Obama won the elections using social media the first time. So he used social media not a political way, he used it as a business way. to reach the audiences, because again, state is huge and the social media usage there is huge as well. So he used social media to reach out, to spread his information, you know. So he wanted. The second time he used digital marketing, he went upper level. So he used targeted segments, he used websites, he created websites to gain, you know, charities. So social media for elections, it was huge. In Bahrain, we saw that also 2 years back or 3 years back, when we had the elections, that we had more people using social media in terms of the representative council MPs, the municipalities as well elections, because again, we saw less number of tents, we saw less number of activities on the ground, but we saw more activities on social media. Again, it is cheaper, it is faster, you reach more people, you can engage with more people, you can have 3-4 people in your team to talk on your behalf with, you know, a set of content to achieve your objectives.
Yes. But also, when we think about the tools in elections in these countries and everything, we find that it could go both ways. I mean, you could really destroy your election campaign, or you could really give it positively. Also, some tools within the election campaigns, like for instance, the voting, yes or no on certain questions or topics that pertain. Are these things, are they difficult for these members to actually balance?
No. There is always a trick here. Okay, you can have always electronic army to increase the yes against the laws. So the no's, the bots. Okay, so I'm not with really, you know, going with that. It's just, it's a propaganda at the end. You know, they claim that this is 100% not fake results. It's nice results, but sometimes it's also it will reflect badly on them, because sometimes when you say I have more people saying yes than no, then other people who wanted to come and say yes for you, they will not go, because, oh, you achieved the target. So some of them, and this is what happened with Obama when I read the book and when we brought that lecturer to Bahrain, give us lectures, that he was very careful in doing that, because you don't want to tell people that I have enough people. He was always pushing people to go and vote, go to and vote. I still need you, I still need you. So the information of the way of contact, you know, I need you, it's very important. You don't show results. Exactly. You don't have to show results. You don't have to show votings. And this is why also it happened with the media makers like CNN and others, that they always show someone is higher than the others, just to claim that, you know, he don't need people more. He don't need votes more. He's enough. And then what will happen, you know, we'll become more lazy to go out and stay in this huge queue to vote.
And don't feel that they make a difference at all.
No, they said, I don't need the difference, I will not make a difference, and I don't need to go. He don't need me.
Briefly, Mr. Sakkar, what is the impact of younger generations' interaction or involvement in social media on our society specifically?
I would say even in politics, it's very important. We saw, I was monitoring the campaigns, the election campaigns in Bahrain, and I saw that most of the MPs were engaging youth in their activities, especially in social media, because they know that 60% are youth. And today, the kids or the youth, they have also a say to their parents, because at the end, they will take them, especially the elderly. Elderly, they don't have cars, they don't have say yes or no. They are already busy with their life, and you know, if they are sick or not. So the youth, they take their mother, father, please let's promote this band, let's, you know, vote for this one. So they know where 60% of usage in Bahrain social media of youth. It's important to push them. And youth, they know the tools. They are very fast learners. Okay, they are first adapters as well. So it is important for us and for elections and for every entity to give some focus on youth, how to reach the youth in this. Now, youth today we can see that most of the brands, they have something for youth. Even they are not targeting, but because they know that they can have affect. They say the power purchase is not with the youth, but the decision is with youth.
Yes, yes.
Even in telecom companies, even in banks, you see the type of language is different now.
Exactly.
Okay, they speak the language of the youth.
Even when it comes to protocols or stuff like that, youth is the new language.
Yes.
Well, before we come to an end, you've been recently appointed as co-chair of the Global Social Media Club. Can you tell us more about the work of this club and how you will contribute to achieve its goals?
Yes. So Social Media Club is a global entity where we share knowledge in social media. We have media makers around the world who are part of the Social Media Club. We have 350 chapters around the club. We established the first chapter in the region in Bahrain for Middle East 7 years back. Within 2 years, I became the Middle East president. Then in 4 years, I became a board of directors in charge of new chapters for the other continent. Alhamdulillah, now I'm the co-chair of the Global Social Media Club, where I have to be involved on daily basis of the operational work of social media for globally in terms of new laws, in terms of members, in terms of activities here and there. The club is an NGO based in the States. We are established in 2006. And we have thousands of people who are following our accounts worldwide. I think people today, they become member of our club because they want to understand more how to deal with social media.
Yes.
The nice thing that we have is we have all types of people. We have youth, we have elderly, we have engineering, we have doctors, we have dentists, we have all type of the community.
Yes.
Because today social media is important for everyone.
Exactly.
There is no segment, there is no sector who doesn't need social media.
Yes.
And this is what also when we talk to Tamkeen, that you have to verify the programs to reach everyone, because everyone needs, even that entrepreneur, even the news media person, even the journalist, even the official.
Yes.
Today we had a meeting with some officials. We want to kick off on officials how to speak in social media, because it's very important. Any tweet you do as an official will take, against you. It's like what you show us for Trump.
Exactly.
That he has a strategy. He wants to achieve his goal.
Yes.
So we have also to have our goals. I think, and thanks God for all the support that we have in the club, from the members, from the officials. We have excellent partnerships with government. We have excellent partners with the private sector. They know the value of social media. They know that we can achieve their goals, business goals, through our activities.
Thank you very much. Congratulations again on this appointment. Is there anything that you'd like to add at the end of our program?
Social media is there. There are 2.7 billion people, to engage with. You have to understand how to publish the content.
Yes.
Content is very important to choose what type of content, when to publish,
Yes.
who to engage with. They are good and bad. This is like, in every newspaper, in every media, we have those type of content.
Exactly.
Use it for the best of yourself, use it for the best of the country, use it for the best of your followers.
Yes. Thank you very much for being with us today, and hope we have you again to have a continuation on this subject. And we would also like to thank you, viewers of Inside Edition, for watching us today, and see you next week in another episode of Inside Edition.